Mom, you've entertained the kids all day. Now it's time we entertain you. Nick Mom is just minutes away.
Today I want to do a recap of this game called Sledgehammer, known as Gear Grinder. A man named Jack Hammer was having charges pressed on him for destruction and destroying property owned by other people. He was found guilty for everything he has done to the whole city and decided to not have him placed in prison as a change but decided to have him executed as a major punishment for all the things he was charged for. Jack wakes up after being passed out and a man named Jorge calls him and tells him that they have been trying to find a man that can destroy things for a very long time. And tells him that he will be given a transformable truck with weapons and race modes to give to him to destroy people that he wants him to kill for blaming things on the cops. After Jack tried his new vehicle, Jorge tells him to try to win a race with his truck. After Jack raced with his new vehicle, Jorge finds out the cops are after him and tells to make sure to tell them not let them get away and tells him to shoot them. After shooting and destroying the cops, Jack has been surrounded by cops and other bad enemies as they saw that he did not get executed by the authorities after having charges pressed on him. After shooting all those enemies, more bad people come and Jack can't stand being there. Jack decides to escape that area and drives off to the big city to find more people to deal with instead of being out in the industrial zone. After escaping the city, Jorge calls Jack while he was driving and tells him that he has been driving him crazy. Jack doesn't believe what Jorge says and tells him to get off. Jorge tells Jack that he has implanted a bomb in his brain. Jack throws his phone out the window so he doesn't have to listen to him. Jack finally made a bet with one the bandits and destroys cars. Later, he launches a bomb car to see if he can kill Zonder. But when he exploded the car, it wasn't Zonder. Later at the supermarket parking lot, the cops have found him again and decides to shoot them. Jack finally told the cops and enemies that he won't play games of who lies and lives and will get him in no time in his words. Jack now has spotted Zonder's car parked nearby the diner and has to finish off and start working on his problem. Jack destroys the diner off the highway and decides to leave. At the bar, the bartender tells Jack that there's a call for him. It was from Jorge and tells him that there will be a tournament where a man named Razor will participate in. Jack tells him of how he will get into a race and tells him that he made him into a killer and tells him back by going, "You always been a killer, Jack." Later at the bar, Jack comes in and meets a man and asks where he's from. A few hours later, the man that Jack was sitting by passes out and starts his 1-for-8 finals to the tournament against Razor. Jack finally said that the cargo has been guarded too well, and finds a way to distract enemies by launching his vehicle and slamming cars like he did when he had that bet from one of the bandits. Later on, the 1/4 finals has began and the stakes were getting higher. People in it can use weapons as it's a die-hard race round. After the 1/4 finals, Jack decides to escape by shooting enemies and finds out where he could be after shooting all those enemies. After the cargo mission, the 1/2 finals began and it was an elimination race and the last one standing wins that third round. Finally the day came, Jack and Razor survived and had to race after him and wanted him in one piece so he could ask him questions. Jack asks Razor that he isn't an enemy of his, and asked why Jorge forced him to kill him. Razor decides to escape and Jack had no choice but to kill him. Back at the bar, the bartender had got another call from Jorge and told him it's for him again and it's the same guy. Jorge tells him that there is a man with a yellow hat and blue overalls, and tells him that he will be free. Jack tells Jorge that he will find that man with the yellow hat and blue overalls. After Jack decided to protect the mechanic named Billy, an enemy with a truck with saws on the front chases after Jack and decides to lure the enemy in a trap. After he did that to that boss, Billy tells him that the tank trucks are great at blowing up stuff. Jack asks him what Billy is doing here. He tells him that he is going to distract that enemy and Jack will shoot the tank trucks. After shooting that very big enemy, Jack makes friends with Billy and Billy tells Jack that his chances of getting killed are higher and the stuff in his head can explode. His car loses coolant and needs a ride. Billy explains to Jack that Jorge runs an agency and sells third-party data and sells it to ex-colleagues to destroy witnesses all over the world. Jack decides that he is done with Jorge and needs to find a way to get in the agency that he runs to destroy him. Jack and Billy decide to do a plan of winning a tank truck and putting armor and weapons on it to get the truck to explode to get in his agency headquarters so he could be done for good. In order to do that, Jack had to do some more work. Jack finally has decided to fight some enemies that could have an entrance to Jorge's agency and tells them it's going to be fun. After, Jack decides to race with some slow racers as he heard they were slowest racers. Jack and Billy have made it with the tank truck and Jack will take the guards. Jack and Billy finally arrive at the agency headquarters that Jorge works for and Jack had to leave to truck, watching the entrance get blown up. Jorge comes out in his helicopter and tells them they won't stop him now. Billy gets shot and killed by Jorge and Jorge flies off and gets away from him. Jack finally sees Billy dead and decides to kill Jorge. After killing all the staff that worked for Jorge, Jack finally kills him and asks Jack if he wants money. Jack tells him that nobody needs money anymore. Jack finally says that he is the last one for Billy as Jorge killed him. Jack drives off the cliff, killing him with Jorge. What would your thoughts be of this game if you had it? Leave a comment down below.